All right. Welcome to our 7th episode. We're super excited.
Yay.
Of the Wired Together with Winternet Win. And your host, Jason Winter and Melanie Winter, are here. And this time we were really excited to have a human host last week. And, a little bit of a teaser, maybe a human co-host next week as well. Yeah. And for us today, our AI is going to be on vacation.
Yeah, we're very jealous. I mean, where do they go? I mean, they can go anywhere, right?
I mean, in the ether.
That's just too much. I can't even.
So technically, he can be anywhere and everywhere all at once.
Oh, that's just nuts.
Right? But we just decided to, we're going to do story time.
Yeah.
And so AI's not great at story time. So that is definitely a human thing, oral tradition, right?
That's right.
So with the 7th episode, we're going to go through 7 ways that you know that you are running a small rural tech company.
Yeah, we're kind of taking the Jeff Foxworthy approach as
very
far
niche.
as, very, very niche, We're probably 30 years too late on this, but anyway, it's not overdone. But so
not the approach. I'm saying the niche is the small rural tech company.
That is very niche, actually.
Probably very few. But if you do, you might find this hilarious. If not, you might also still find it hilarious.
Yep, and it's just, of course, the nature of our business and things, but I mean, really any small business in a small town, I think, can relate to a lot of the things that we're going to come up. So as far as the 7 ways that, you're running a small rural tech company, we'll get into some stories and kind of give the background. So, all right, you want to get started?
All right.
Okay.
You might run a rural tech company if your podcast schedule gets delayed by your farmer buddy treating the beans.
Yeah, there's some truth to this.
There's a lot of truth to this.
Yeah, this came out a couple days later than we wanted.
The store that we run is in the middle of a soybean field. Technically just a field. So
whatever crop of the
when
moment.
He moves things around, and so great friend of ours. So obviously there's things that need to be done. So you've got combines, tractors, sprayers, all the things,
harvesters,
so he's got things he's got to do, and he's got his schedule. So sometimes you have to change your schedule for his schedule. So
it's like, well, let's not do this right now. It'll be like a Zoom call or a podcast. You're like, maybe we don't need the ambient noise as a distractor. So, but yeah, that's.
But we love it. We love being in the. It's the first field you get to when you come into Bracy.
Yep.
And so it's easy to say, see the soybean field? There we are.
That's right.
So it is the first field you get to, so it is really cool that and our buddy maintains that field. So it's also really cool.
It is nice.
We're happy it exists.
It's very serene, and it's just kind of, trust me, when you're behind a computer for hours and hours, just being able to step out on the porch and look out, and just see the field and take a deep breath and just be like, yeah,
Unless he's spraying.
Don't do that then. No. That's I wouldn't.
But it is, having that, in a rural area, you do tend to talk about weather, what looks good. It's like, it's very green this year. This is looking really good.
That's right. And it's like, see, the plant's telling you it needs rain,
Right.
So I get that completely. All right, so let's move on to the next one. So you might run a rural tech company if a part of setting up a client meeting is raiding the porch. Not today's Satan wasp nests. And by raiding we mean like actually using raid.
Literally raid.
Yeah.
So there are wasps, there are fire ants, there are field mice, there are random stray dogs.
Yeah, it's like, okay, he's got a collar or he doesn't.
Right on in. I mean, I really don't understand.
Oh yeah, just walk
that dog
right up
into the store.
I mean, I'm like, hey babe, we got a customer. No, Well,
No.
if we do,
no.
that's a first. So yeah, no, we weren't expecting that at all. Most randomness you could ever think of.
It's unfortunate, but there are, dogs that get away a lot. We did find the owners, thank goodness. Or just the random pest
Yep.
that you have to worry about,
Well, see, I mean, having a covered front porch, of course.
And it's an old porch.
It's an old one, exactly.
And,
old
love
wood.
Old wood.
Exactly. Yep, we're
They
saying the same
really
thing.
do. It's nothing that you can possibly do
No.
about it except take care of it when it's done.
Exactly. And so, of course, with the covered porch, wasps love to nest right up under it because, of course, the elements, the rain and all that. And I'll say, actually, before our last podcast, true story, walk out there and we see a wasp. And Melanie's like, all right, go get the fly swatter or whatever, or your shoe or your hat. I don't think I was wearing a hat, so I would have used that. And then I look around and I'm like, ooh, we found a metropolis. I'm like, there might be 16 in there or something. So I grabbed a can of Raid, zap them, bam, and they drop. And I counted. It was actually 16. And the point of the story is not to be that I'm proud of myself that I guessed 16, but that's what you're dealing with. And this was just before Greg was going to show up. And it's like, quick, get the broom. And it's like, do you think it'll dry? Does it look like a menagerie? I mean, we're
you try to look like you know what
you
you're
try to do the
doing,
right
and
thing,
all
make
of a
sure everything
sudden,
looks all right. But yeah,
you're sweeping the dead wasp.
dead
up.
ones. Get away from here.
But nobody was bit or hurt in the
Yeah, like
minus the wasps.
right.
They were hurt, unfortunately.
In the filming of this,
Right.
no animal or person was injured. So, but yeah, that's something that again, when we signed up for this, if even we did, I guess, this was not even on the bottom of the job application and other duties as deemed necessary. These are the things you can experience and find out. Yeah.
Wildlife is wildlife. It is going to be in your face.
Sometimes we're just in their area.
We're in their area. They're like, why? Why are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were friends.
Right. Well, it's like I had a client yesterday that got out of the car and all that and was starting to walk up to the stairs. And she said she walked through a cobweb. And I'm like, oh, no, not one of my web designer friends. And she looked at me for a second and she's like, the spiders. Oh, I get it.
They design webs.
They design webs. Yeah,
They are our
they're
friends,
web design. Yeah, they are. I mean, there are times I
web
won't kill
designers.
one. I'll say, all right, buddy, keep hustling. You got this.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're wonderful to have. Wasp, I don't really know their purpose, but
I don't. Well, they're just. I can't say that word.
spiders
I can't say that word here.
wonderful because they will build their web and then they catch everything.
It is really incredible to watch.
It is,
Especially
And
like at night when you have a spotlight or something on
the
a porch.
we leave the spiders because
Yeah.
they're not inside, and then
Yeah.
they're creating this beautiful web that is fascinating.
It is.
And then they're also making sure that everything that flies gets caught, and
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to worry about it.
Mosquitoes and all that mess.
So spiders are our friends.
They are.
As long as they're not
I'll remind you that next time I need to leave the shop to go back to the house.
in the house.
I know.
No,
I
they
no,
don't
no,
belong
I
in
get
the
this.
house.
No, I understand. We have a boundary. All right, let's hit the next one. You got that?
All right. You might run a rural tech company if your furniture has stories to tell.
We got
We
some
are,
furniture.
again, a tech company where we do all kinds of fun technological advancements. We are also a very old store, and so we have
Yep.
very older furniture. For that reason, it fits the ambiance of the store.
Yeah, it's a weird dichotomy. Even
Right.
though digitally, like, we're cutting edge. A lot of our furniture has, been around long after the echoes of your ancestors, and
Right. Which for some reason we love.
and it's a neat dichotomy, combination of.
So we do
old
have
and
a
new.
display case that has a cute story. It was in the store that we're in back in the 30s. So the store was built in the late 30s.
Yeah,
And so
it's almost 100 years.
this display case was in that store. and it actually got moved to the cotton gin. We had across the street from us was an old cotton gin. It has since been torn down, but we do have pictures.
Yep.
And so it got moved there and was part of the auction that was there before the tearing down. And so a neighbor of ours that ran a little antique store called Kinda Cute was the purchaser of this piece of furniture. It's a huge display case.
Oh, yeah. Just got
doors
in the back.
Dimensions.
I got no idea. It's probably, roughly 3.5 feet by about 2 feet. But it stands, kind of like at
very solid
at your
wood,
navel.
And then glass.
Glass on all sides and top.
And so we, for a really good price, purchased it at Kinda Cute because all the glass was, except for the old thick piece of glass on top,
big old thick
all the
beveled
glass
piece.
was kind of broken.
Yep.
So we got it from Kinda Cute, and it actually ended up coming back to the exact same store, which is the store we're in now, which is Miles Cole's store.
It's
and
kind of
so
a neat
it was
renaissance.
like this. It moved from all of these different situations and then back where it
full
kind of
circle,
belonged.
and we were happy about that.
So because it belonged, we had South Hill Glass come and redo all of the glass and put it back into the case and everything, and we made sure that it actually
it was hard to slide
safe
the glass in there.
and looked back to the way it was supposed to. So we were kind of a little proud of the piece of furniture. It holds some of our jewelry that we make.
That's right. I mean, you can't buy anything like that today. I mean, if you could,
it is solid.
Well, you can't afford it.
You can barely move it. It is solid.
It is solid. Yeah. But so I mean, like, furniture has stories. I mean, we have another piece that easily, like a wardrobe on the one side and drawers on the other, like they had before closets, which closets came about probably after World War II. But I swear it's like 1 out of 4 people that come into our marketing room and everything, they look at it and go, oh, that is an interesting piece. Now, of course, it holds all of my paraphernalia and things that I enjoy.
It has some
my like
3.5-inch floppies in there.
Oh yeah,
it's
it's
very strange.
My shrine of
and that too.
Toys of like retro, like Nintendo kind of. I don't know.
There's a couple of Toads and
yeah. Oh, I love Toad.
Yoshi
and
just Mario.
You just need to come by and see it. It's fine. Look, I'm a grown man, but I love this. It's fine.
Well,
no judgment.
The era,
here.
right?
It is the era, exactly, and that's and actually, there's one piece on there that has an interesting story. We went to Hallmark one time, and I see something with Mario or something on it, and sometimes it's hard for me not to buy it. This, in fact, think of it like a coaster mug set, but the coaster is kind of like the green pipe. The mug is a Mario mug, but when you lift the mug, it's supposed to make one of the random sounds that are programmed, like the Mario coin or the do that type thing. So we buy it, bring it home, and it didn't work. So I went on the website for Hallmark and spoke with someone through a chat and ended up explaining everything. They're like, oh, we'll send you a gift card for to buy a new one. Well, I just left it there. I mean, I was still fine with it being a decorative piece, not having the function. About 2 weeks later, it just randomly started making a noise. And now
without lifting the cup.
Now, like, I could go over there right now and lift the cup. It never would do it. It, on its own accord, through whatever source, whatever, will randomly make noises. And it's very ironic when it does. Like, for instance, we'll be talking about something, and it's like, okay, I think I got a good idea.
It's those aha moments.
How about, it is, it's like an aha moment.
In an aha moment,
yeah.
It also has an aha
moment.
It
does the noise. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're listening.
It's like
do. Yeah, right. I mean, it's like you get it exactly. And now we're like, yep, Mario agrees. It's fine. Let's move forward.
So we must move forward because Mario has agreed.
And like, I could go over there, hit it. I could lift a mug. I could do, yell at it, get in your hole. What? It's not going to do anything. But like it decides when it, has its moment, and that's fine. But yeah, so yep.
And when you're kind of used to old furniture, you're kind of used to.
And you're used to an old house, they talk to you.
Right.
We always say if these walls could talk.
To you,
well, yeah,
so we just let it talk.
If anyone has an old house, they understand the same nature of that,
right?
And whatever else might be in the house before you. But anyway, we're not going there today. Yeah. So.
And we do have a little bit of the ambiance of this store. You're kind of again walking into. Technically a tech store.
Technically.
But you're also kind of, walking into a bit of the past, a bit of the old store. So we have an old radio.
Yeah, it's like a turntable / radio thing.
That we just kind of let run.
Yeah.
We used to try to play the classic rock and stuff like that, something we're more familiar with.
Yeah.
We got to the point it was very difficult to concentrate. So what we ended up going with is a local Christian station.
Yeah.
And then it's very calming, very soothing. It goes along with just kind of that ambiance of walking into the old store.
Mm-hmm. And it's not there are times where I forget to turn it on, and after about 5 minutes sitting there, I'm like, it's too quiet. I'm like, oh, the radio.
Yeah, it just kind of gives a nice little background, and then every once in a while it's like you sing a piece and reconnects.
That's right.
So it's part of the, I guess, old country store feel, if you will.
That's right. So, all right. Who's got the next one?
Oh, this is all you. This is all you, my friend.
Will you read it and then I'll talk? Man.
Sure. You might run a rural tech company if you've been on the internet service struggle bus since 2008.
Oh gosh, isn't that the truth? So yeah, we started the business in April of 2008. I certainly have designed websites and messed around with stuff, for many years like that. But that was a decision of, okay, let's make something out of this. Well, when we moved into the house we lived in South Hill at that time, and I remember calling, you get your electricity hooked up, you get all your services. So I call, it was Earthlink at the time. CenturyLink bought them out years after that. And I'm like, hey, I need internet. What you got? He's like, well, it's going to be dial-up is what we got. But look, just a few months, probably 6 months from now, we can offer you DSL. I'm like, well, that's great. So right now the dial-up, okay, that's fine. I mean, I knew what dial-up was, So, they hooked up the dial-up, and well, we left there in 2016 and still didn't have DSL. Right. So you have to get creative on trying to find other solutions. So
they ran the line, they just never actually got a point to which you could connect.
Oh, I forgot about that.
They destroyed the yard to run the line, but never got to a point.
It was
where
a highway without exits.
And it was a highway without exits.
Anyone in the tech field understands what the last mile means, and that is, you need to get enough people on board to go off the highway to justify an exit ramp to then service whatever that is. And until that happens, and it never did. But
so we're starting a tech company in 08.
In 08 with dial-up.
It was
kind of formative though in my process.
Kind of make it work for you.
Mm-hmm. And that's one reason why at this time I was designing websites purely in code. Because if it's all in code, right, a blinking cursor, just do whatever. I mean, I'm writing every single line, making a text document. And, text document is very minuscule. It's not like you're trying to run some type of generator engine type thing, which that wouldn't happen. But so there were times, though, that I would have to, I got a bunch of files and I've already taken them into Photoshop and I need to upload these files or even videos. So I would have to find a place. So in the early days, I remember there were some times I actually drove to the McDonald's parking lot. It was probably late in the evening or something, so I didn't eat there. But just to tap onto their public Wi-Fi to upload what I needed to satisfy a client for that stage of the website. I even met with clients that the library, of course, I'm not going to bring them into my house, but now we have a storefront and the whole, image and everything changed. But meet them at the library to discuss a new website and everything, just so that I could, pull up my laptop, discuss, show things, whatever. But the whole journey from the dial-up, then we got HughesNet, and they installed the HughesNet thing. And here's the funny thing. They installed HughesNet, but they had to update the software. And so they had to download the package and everything in order to, make it work. Well, then when the person was leaving, I was like, well, why isn't it working? He's like, well, I used up the allotment, but it will restore itself after about 48 hours. Think of it as a bucket with a hole in it. It eventually drips out, but then, then it creates more room. I said, so you mean to tell me you installed this thing, but I can't, I was mad. Anyway, there's some other stories about HughesNet and some other of my friends I'm not going to go into. But Melanie's laughing. I'll save that as, I don't know, I need to get permission first.
Right.
Well, I can do it without a name, but it's not going to, no, not today. But it involves someone canceling their contract and using a firearm while on the phone and
saying they just canceled
their contract, and then I guess I am doing it. I'm just like Chaucer, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll take you up." Anyway, so after HughesNet, we got Alltel because that was before AT&T came through, and we had the MiFi, which was a box.
Or something.
Yeah, you
kind of
they had the one you could plug in and stick it in your window, and then and that worked for a long good while. But then after about 3 generations later of that, this product was like, well, you have to plug it into your laptop, and I'm like, but if I'm sitting on the couch, I'm plugging in my laptop, it's not close enough to the window for me to get the signal. So I remember being on the phone with them for 6 hours and meticulously taking notes, climbing the ladder, always, okay, it's not your fault that you can't resolve this, but there's someone there that can. Finally reach a guy in Atlanta. So, hey, Keith, how you doing? My name's Jason. I'm in South Hill, Virginia, and I need this product that I understand that you all have, and I can actually use it like I did my old product and all that. And he's like, how'd you find me? I said, don't ask questions. I need this done. And he's like, well, it's not available for the stores quite yet, but I can mail it to you. And I'm like, all right, well, let's go ahead and do that. He's like, but
are we talking router product?
It's kind of like a router.
Okay.
Well, think about this being just like what we had, but it was the newer model. So I don't know. Anyway, then I had the argument over getting it, and he's like, because my thought was, you changed my service, and I didn't have what I was able to use, therefore I shouldn't have to pay for this. So then he's like, long story short, they can give me a credit and I don't have to pay for it. So that was a win for me, and I was back in business. But finally now we're in Bracy, fast forward to then, and with Empower, formerly Bugs Out on Telephone, and everything, and fiber, it certainly is what we needed, and
it's robust. It does what we need.
That's right.
It's awesome.
But it's the growing pains of dealing with what
the early days was
not.
Yeah. It was getting there.
That's
and
right.
Just getting there and getting there.
Right.
So you do what you have to do.
Yep, exactly. So, all right, so how about this? You might run a rural tech company if you don't have to miss Mayberry. Handshakes, bartering, and paid by pecan pie are still acceptable ways of saying thank you. What we got for that?
So we have the most lovely people
we do.
In our community, and so a lot of times it's a small need.
Mm-hmm.
Come in with my phone has no sound, stuff like that, and
yeah. Can you fix? I know you're busy, but can you?
Yes.
It's like,
and
it's important to you.
No problem. Just kind of going ahead and flipping a switch, doing his little thing. And obviously you're not gonna sit there and
Well, they apologize, and it's like, this is a small thing, but it's like, but this is your lifeline. This is important to
Right.
you.
It is
Technology
important.
is very,
It's important.
it's
What
your
they
gateway
need,
to.
it's usually just kind of a little small thing that
Yeah.
and so people end up having payment, if you will, with
Right.
with all kinds of things. So we've throughout the time of actually being a store, we've gotten a pound cake.
Yeah, we did.
We've had fresh venison sausage. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Some coffee.
Mhm.
Fire ant pellets. Thank you so much. It was very important based on our last,
Right. Yeah.
Fire ants are the enemy, not
Yeah,
today,
you
Satan.
get, you get to talking to somebody, and you're like,
And they're like,
well, I
I've
got
got
something.
what you need,
And-
and then they pay
and then-
you
and then
with
you don't
fire
think
ant
about it.
pellets, and it's like, you know what, just as good. Yes.
well, it's cute because it's like, you're done everything and all that. And like 5 days later, they come by like, here's this. I'm like, oh my gosh, we were talking about that. And it's like, no, you have it, and it's the sharing of it. But yeah.
We've been paid in wine, yum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Preserves, double yum.
Oh yeah.
Preserves for anybody else that's not in rural Virginia. Preserves are jam.
It
But we
has a
call it
bunch of
preserves.
names. Yeah.
So jelly is when you take all the seeds.
When
and
you
pull
take
them
it
out.
out and it becomes the gelatin
Jam
style
is when you
flavor.
leave it
Yep.
all in
Yep.
northern areas, and so preserves is the same thing as jam. Just
Because you're preserving the
you
product.
preserve. Yeah.
You,
So
you really just
more
don't
of a
want it to go
southern
bad.
word.
You're trying to keep it somehow, so it becomes that.
That wasn't strawberry. What was that?
I don't remember.
Fig.
Yeah, it was fig. Yeah.
By the way, delicious.
Most.
And we've actually been paid in light bulbs.
Yep.
So that was very, very traditional, rural,
I mean,
kind of concept.
right.
Paid in pie, if you will.
Exactly.
And, doing the same thing a lot with, you kind of trade off with, tomatoes and
Mhm.
things like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you have
Eggs.
a garden, you have too much, you would give it away and all that, and it
Right.
gets back to the kind of community we are. We share.
We
give.
share, we give, we're part of that.
We're proud of what we made that people like, and we want to give it to others too.
Exactly.
And I mean, in our area, we got a lot of seasonal things that, that come up, and
So if anybody wants to pay in Brunswick stew,
yeah. Speaking of seasonal,
by
yep.
the way, I won't stop them.
No, I won't either.
Won't stop them at all.
Nor will our oldest daughter.
Right,
'Cause,
yes.
I mean, we may not get it.
Brunswick stew
Don't give it to her and say, give this to your mom and dad.
Yeah,
We
she's
ain't-
not the master. She's
we're-
not a stew
we're-
master. She's a
we're not-
stew connoisseur.
She's a stew monster.
Monster. That's a good word.
Yeah. We won't get it if you give it to her.
Years ago, we went to in our area, Brunswick stew is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
We're right next to Brunswick, and so
Brunswick County.
we went to the Brunswick Stew Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking around with my daughter, and she was very young at the time, and she's like, I don't get it.
She didn't get it. No. It's like, why?
It's just stew,
Why
right?
you're right. It's like,
And I'm like, wait a minute.
She's
So
like-
I stopped,
she like gasped like
and I bent
Sheldon
down
Cooper.
to talk to her,
No.
kneel down, eye to eye. This is not just stew. This is part of our culture, our
Yeah.
heritage. This
Oh
is
my
who
gosh.
we are. And so the way that everybody makes their own stew is a very important and very
Mhm.
proud thing. So we
Yeah.
all have a stew master. We all have, in different regions of the area. And so our stew masters are very important. The name of who knows what they're doing with
Oh,
stew
yeah.
is very important.
Yep.
And
badge
so
of honor.
I introduced her to several booths. I had her talk to some of the people at each booth.
Mm-hmm.
And she started to really understand that this is a culture and not just a food.
But she became like a foodie over it.
And
Like,
then
this
it
one's
was
more
like,
tomato
now
based.
it's
This one is
everything.
more.
Yeah,
This
so
one has
now,
more pepper.
Anytime you've got a different
Yep.
Brunswick stew, she's got to try it. She's got to give her analysis.
Yep. She's a Food Network expert on
Right.
this, batch. Yep. Well, this year it's a little bit more this, or I think
Right.
they're a little bit more beef heavy than they were. It's like, oh my gosh, created a monster for sure. But yeah.
In Bracey, we had Lindbergh as our
Yep.
amazing stew master,
Yep.
and as he got older, taste buds change and that sort of thing, and so the pepper got a little more and more each year.
And see, I'm a sucker for that now.
And so,
because...
it for all of us, we got used to it. So you kind of have a little bit of a peppery stew every once in a while.
That's right. And it's like, yes. Yeah.
But you can have all chicken. I mean, there's
a
million different ways to do a good stew.
Gosh. Wish I had some.
Well, it's a little too early.
I know that. I'm just saying.
We're almost in stew season.
All of our frozen has been thawed and eaten. Yeah, gone. So, all right. You take the net,
well, you might be a rural tech company if you stop everything to pray when sirens go through your quiet sanctuary.
Yeah.
So we are very quiet. We're, it's not typical to have the sirens just running by. The fire rescue, that sort of thing. And so when they do, it's all of us in smaller areas, we sit there, you're having a conversation with a client or something like that, and you hear it, and all of a sudden your ear just perks up like a dog. It's like, where are they going?
I mean, there's a good percentage you might know the people.
Right. So what direction are they going?
It's like, wait, oh yeah, they
okay?
They turned down that road.
Right.
I know 12 people live there.
Right. So it's one of those. You just kind of have to stop everything. Of course, you have to pray.
Exactly.
You make sure everybody's okay.
Especially if it's like a fire engine, it might be a wreck or something. Right. So I remember there's been many times where I want to go down the road. So then, because we're in the tech business and everything like that, you tend to think of certain ways of trying to track it down. So I've been on Google Maps looking at the traffic layer, trying to figure out where the little red line might be to see where maybe, whatever took place. Melanie's on the Apple Maps in traffic mode. It's like, let's see if they have it. And so just trying to figure out what, might be going on and where.
Right, exactly.
And it's out of concern. It's not, people are like, oh, you're being nosy. No, I mean, we love our neighbors and we want to know,
Make sure everybody's okay.
Exactly.
Who do we need to pray for?
Do we need that too? So, all right. You might run a rural tech company if you wouldn't give up your clients for all the tech gadgets in the world. And isn't that the truth?
We are so fortunate.
We really are.
We do what we do. Clients can come from anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's a predominant amount, once you're geographically stationed, you're going to have clients nearby. Mm-hmm. And, there's been people, we've known for years. There's people we've known for generations.
I mean, we've had clients for over 15 years too.
Right. They're just so, watching the business grow, watching you being able to do something like put them online and put them out in the world, right. Knowing what they're doing is something you believe in.
People need to see this.
And you want people to see this. Mm-hmm. I love when clients come in that I've already known. And it's like, I know exactly what to do to make sure that people understand
picture it,
what this means to everyone in the area. So,
and we've learned a lot of new businesses that, facets of things like, I never thought about that, And I always tell people, you're the expert on your business. We know what we're doing, but I'm not going to pretend to know some of these industries. But when you learn about it, that's...
Oh, I know. It's so fascinating.
It's like, wow, I'm getting paid to learn about this. And, you kind of...
and we get to learn, we don't just kind of create a website. We dig. We make sure that
you got to do your research and know what's going to work for SEO, picture. What's going to also show it in a good light.
And we do a lot of research to make sure that we're presenting the content well.
Right.
And so with a lot of that, you get to learn a new business, learn a new way of thinking, all of the little ins and outs that they have to worry about that you never really concerned yourself with. And so it's really fascinating.
And it creates a creative challenge sometimes,
But it's great to see that in, again, that little bit of part that you can do to kind of progress the businesses in the area and the businesses outside of the area. We ended up, having a client in Jamaica.
Oh, yeah.
And
Thea.
we were so close to her. We talked to her often on the phone and things like that.
Even got handed off to her brother one time when someone showed up. It was funny.
And ended up getting close to her family.
Yeah.
Know, and we'd never met.
No.
Never met. She knew about the children and asked about them at times.
I know, and it was really cool though. And I remember asking her, I'm like, how did you find me? I mean, like, I don't know. In Jamaica, it's like, come on. They're like, and she's like, and she had like the Jamaican British accent. Her brother was very Rastafarian, and she's like, what? I was on your website, I found it, and the way you presented your material really gave me a sense to call you. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. I'm like, one, you found me. Two, I mean, it's like, it's just, that's the earlier days of the internet where that was kind of
starting her out and everything, and getting her business idea off the ground and everything.
Yep.
We became close.
We did.
You have to have a lot of conversation when you're trying to kind of build something for someone. And so close to the point that the family ended up giving us a call years later down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, this was some time ago, and years later down the road, she did end up, having she passed.
Yeah.
And the family called us to let us know.
Yeah.
That's just how.
Yeah.
There was no reason. There was no leftover funds or anything. It was just to let us know because we were.
But it apparently meant she spoke about us enough that because I'm like, so you're who? I'm like, oh my gosh, and
that was really quite beautiful and fascinating. That we had never met this person in our lives, but she was what she needed and what we could do was went together so well, and we were able to kind of bond.
Right.
In such different areas. But that's also true here in our own businesses here is we are able to kind of bond with these people and again, we know a lot of them before we start, and then we get to relearn them or
well, you find that you're related when you talk?
Or meet new people and new businesses that are starting in the area that it's like, wow, this is such a great concept. Let's see what we can do. Let's push this out. Let's make this work. So,
exactly.
And in the beauty of small rural tech company, small companies, small town companies, you end up with groupies. I love groupies. People that stop by, that hang out for a bit.
They're passing by. Oh, they're there. Let's go in and talk.
Just come in to talk and stuff like that. When my brother and I were growing up, we would hang out with my grandfather, and he would at some point, come on, let's go. Let's go places. Let's just go drive around. And so one of the places we would end up is a little store in Black Ridge. And that was one of those stores where you could take those, Coke bottles.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Once you finish your Coke bottle, you keep it. You go in and you redeem it, and then you get new Coke. And so, that was always a really good excuse to just kind of go out and about,
That's right. Kind of making your rounds and
talk to exactly. Folks. So it's like, you know what? I got, 6 cases, or 6 packs of Coke bottles. Let's go ahead and go over.
Sure.
And so, we'd pack up in the truck and we'd go over there.
That's neat.
There was a little potbelly stove and, just a bunch of guys talking. So the kids would just, we were promised a piece of candy if we're quiet. So we just walk around or Yoo-hoo or whatever.
That's right.
And so, you just kind of,
your thing.
there at the store listening to the guys talk and, you kind of have this this groupie,
sure.
Old country store gathering, and so it was always nice to watch that in action and be with my grandfather at that point.
That's neat.
And so that kind of makes me think of it when we've got some of the people that just kind of come by on a regular basis.
Right.
They just come in to tell us something or to
just seeing what you're doing.
Yeah, and enjoy some conversation with us
Yep.
for a bit. So
Yeah.
I love that. I love that storefront. Let's connect. Let's
Yeah.
keep being real, being people.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we're really busy, but sometimes it's like,
Well,
let's stop.
sometimes it's
We
nice
probably need
to
that.
have a break.
Right.
It's like I need to stand up
It's
and
like I probably
get some
do
fresh
need
air.
a little
Yeah.
conversation.
That's right.
And human for a minute.
Right.
Which is this week's episode is the human.
Yep.
We're ignoring the AI. We're ignoring the new, and we're
Maddie
going
went on
into just
vacation.
kind of the old and the AI's on vacation.
Shoot.
And the oral tradition, the storytelling. So.
Yeah, I mean it's a big part of us, big part of our own culture and tradition, and when it's part of you and who you are, it's important just to share that and just say, hey, this is important too. And I think with technology sometimes there's
It moves forward really fast.
it does, and
you
we need
get really
to
kind of
yes,
lost in the weeds.
and
so,
everyone knows that. So it's important to stay connected.
Right, and this is what the whole thing is about. It's
Yeah,
though it is tech, and tech
Mm-hmm.
feels very disconnecting.
Ironically,
But
'cause it's supposed
at
to connect, but it's-
the difference is with rule, concepts. Maybe we can make tech very connecting.
I think so.
And so we've got to not forget our connections when
No,
it comes
definitely.
to all of this newness that's coming. The old connections are actually still very much alive and well.
And I won't go on my soapbox with a long whatever, but I will say that as technology does do a lot of the things, a lot of the jobs, a lot of the tasks, your character, personality, the way to connect with other people is going to be the thing that separates you. And really, when you think of jobs and all that, it's all going to change. It's going to get back to
Character,
who are you?
integrity.
Because AI can do this for me, but why do I need you?
Right.
And how can you connect with others? So I think that's the direction things are going to go. But do you want to briefly mention? I think we're going to start wrapping things up.
And as we wrap things up, we don't want to forget that we kind of came up with a little bit something new. Gracie has a new webpage, new old webpage. We actually revamped our webpage.
This is something we started like 16 years ago, but
a little too soon.
Yeah,
too soon.
It was an idea we had. Well, it was. Things were changing. This was 16 years ago. Yellow pages, white pages, other outlets were used for information, and that was really before social media, before technology caught up. So we finally
COVID forced us all into
COVID
it.
did force us to do that. So
this is kind of like a revamp of the BracyVirginia.com website.
Yeah.
And so we're really excited. We just kind of launched it.
Yep.
It's still kind of in its early form.
It's in its first stage. We have some other stages we got planned, and
it's kind of given a good representation of the area, of the local businesses, kind of giving. We do have some newcomers on the stage, so it's kind of giving them the little place to go that you can see where what's happening in the area.
See what businesses there are, events like you're saying. I mean, and we've kind of sprinkled the history in there along with some other opportunities to be able to showcase yourself. I mean, we have some chambers around us and all that, and they do a great job, but we're like, Bracy needs some representation. It's not a town, so it's not organized in that way.
We don't really have a chamber. We don't really have the town set up, so we kind of.
But we wanted the benefit for us to be able to come together and to be able to showcase what we have and inform those that are here what is available. Because I mean, you may be a plumber and do a really good job living here in Bracy, but it's hard to get out there and be able to show people what your services are. So it's like, hey, look, you're here in Bracey, Virginia, you can now have a directory listing that of course, any website, anything like this that we build, of course, it has costs, and we're going to sponsor any business that is in Bracey. We'll just go ahead and pay the cost of all of that, so that you can have a directory listing. And it's just, we're really excited. We actually managed to find time to get this done, and the feedback has been very heartwarming.
Yes, thank you everybody for your feedback on it, because it is a labor of love. It
really is.
We do enjoy this.
Yeah, so we appreciate everyone, just tuning in and listening. This is a longer episode, but we had stories to tell. And look, my great grandfather, I know, who I've spent a lot of time with and pretty much raised me, I knew when I was visiting with him, some of my best memories of my life. But if he said back in the war, I knew it was going to be a 2-hour story. So the fact that this is
oral tradition is amazing.
It really is, and we really need to hold on to that, because that's what energizes us, and that's what really makes it makes a day worthwhile. You're always going to have stuff tomorrow you ain't got to, but but who have you connected with? Who have you shared your story with? Just keep all that in mind. So even though we're approaching maybe 47 minutes by the time this ends, I know this is a big one. It's our largest yet. But like I said, you can't stop it when, the stories come. So I guess, signing off here with Wired Together. And again, you can find us on different outlets. And of course, if you're listening, you have found us. I appreciate everyone's support and sharing what we have posted, but unplugging for now.
But always stay connected.